All right. Well, again, it's always great to come back in after a quality win. Um, I'm just excited about where this football team is right now. Um, coming off of the performance that these guys put out last week, again, it showed that we responded, and it was all about a response. That was my message all week long. Was how would we respond? And I wanted us better than we were the week before. And if our best was good enough, then great. If not, we were going to move on. And that's all I can ask as a head football coach. And so our guys responded well. We did what we needed to do. I thought it started. One of the challenges that we had coming in all week long was defensively. We felt like that we had to get off the field better on third down. We were very poor against TCU on third down, and that was an emphasis all week long. We were, I believe, 3 of 12 on third down from a defensive standpoint. So we got off the field. We held a team that prides themselves in no 3 and outs, and that's part of their one of their goals. We held them to 5 3 and outs, which again is really good. It was great to see Mason Gentry come back in. I think he had about 25 snaps, so that was great to see him add some depth to our D-line. We created turnovers again. We continue to win the turnover margin, and none bigger than obviously the play in my opinion, sums up who we are and where we are with our culture right now, is the play that Jordan Wyatt made. I believe that was in the late second quarter. They had a chance to go up on us 21-17. We were misaligned, and Jordan never gave up on the play. Excuse me. Never gave up on the play and battled and tripped him up just enough to create a fumble. And then the extra effort by Kyron Mitchell was huge. That was a huge 14-point swing in the game, gave the offense the ball back to be able to go down and score. So that said a lot about where we are in our program. It would have been so easy. Probably would have gotten very little notice on film if someone would just let up just a little bit. But when you're able to turn the film on and see these guys playing as hard as they are and have been playing for each of the first 4 weeks, it's impressive to see where we started 33 months ago into where we are right now. But again, it was all about a response. I thought offensively, I thought we did a really good job of and continue to do a really good job of not turning the ball over. We felt like this was going to be a game that we needed to stay the course. We knew they did some different things up front defensively. We had to survive their assault and keep staying with the process. And this was a good team, very, very well coached. And it was good to see different guys making plays. 2 weeks ago we had Cortland Sutton. Last week was Trey Quinn, and then this week was Xavier Jones and James Prochet. And to see those guys make the plays that they made was really critical, and it will be critical to our success moving forward. I thought our offensive line did a really good job, gotten better in the run game. I think solidifying our right guard position with Will Hopkins has been a big help. We'll still rotate Jacob Tador and Bryce Wiles at right tackle. Anytime you rush the ball for over 300 yards, you're doing a lot of really good things. We had too many penalties. It's very uncharacteristic of us. We had 10 penalties. 2 of those were on me. We chose to take delays on the punt to burn the clock. But 8 penalties is still too many penalties, especially is what we pride ourselves on as being one of the least penalized teams in all of college football. Really good to see our 3 running backs. Each one brings a different attitude to the game. This week it was Xavier Jones that had a great night, a breakout night. But it's Braden West, it's Kamen Freeman, and each one brings a different style of running. So that was big. Our defensive players of the game were Jordan Wyatt and Rodney Clemens. So when we were able to shut them out, an explosive offense, and shut them out in the second and third quarter was big as well, as we talk about our 4-over-4 moments. Hunter Thedford was our special teams player of the game. This guy, big guy, man, 6'6", and 270 pounds, and run like he does down the field and special teams. I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with. So excited to see him growing into the role he is moving him over to tight end has helped him and helped his confidence. I thought our kickoff coverage unit continues to improve. held them to 17-yard average. We still want to get that down even more. Our kickoff return unit is an area that we stress as well over and over and over. We have to improve in this. And to see with Kevin Johnson being out, we had to make some adjustments. And with Trey Quinn getting in there, I think we averaged 27 yards on a return. And I'll take that all day long. But punt return, they had shown to have many fakes. And so we spent a lot of our time, a lot of meeting time, a lot of our walkthrough time was critical in making sure we got aligned correctly. And our guys did a really good job of that. And I thought we punted the ball well. We're still leaving some points out there on the field from a field goal standpoint and extra point standpoint. We got to get that cleared up. But overall, you're 1-0 coming out of the Arkansas State season and moving into the UConn season. Will be critical for us as well. Coach Etchel's a fine coach. He's very well respected in college football. This guy has been around the game, has had produced successful teams. Obviously, his stint at UConn prior to leaving, he was extremely successful. We had an opportunity to go against him when he was at Maryland. So know what kind of coach and staff that we're going against. It is they're getting better. I know that they lost a heartbreaker last week after battling back. Their guys showed resiliency. Their guys showed fight, and they never gave up. Offensively, Rhett Lashley, the offensive coordinator, I've known Rhett for a long time. Consider him to be one of the extremely bright minds in all of college football. Their offense is very, very similar to ours. Basically came out of the same tree. He played for Coach Malzahn, coached underneath him, and obviously our relationships go way back. And so they're a two-back run-oriented football team. They want to run the football. They want to run it with a lot of tempo and then take play-action shots down the field. So, again, they got better. They got better last week. They battled back, and it showed the resiliency of their quarterback. He stood in there, took some hits, very tough, a really good runner. I remember him when he was in high school in Georgia. And so this young man's a quality football player that's an offense that's gaining confidence. They got a really good combination of running backs. The Nate Hopkins, young man from right up the road here in Flower Mound, provides the size, and Akil Newsom provides their speed. So again, we're seeing an offense that's showing a lot of improvements and a lot of confidence. Defensively, I know they've struggled on the back end in their pass defense. And I know Coach has made comments to that, and I know they're looking at different combinations of guys on the back end. But make no mistake, Coach Crocker, their defensive coordinator, is as good a defensive coordinator as there are in the country. And this guy came from Villanova, where he had one of the top defenses in all of college football each of the last few years. They're running odd stack defense at 3-3-5. They got 7 seniors. They returned 7 different starters, or 7 starters. They're very experienced. They got a lot of fifth-year seniors on their defensive side of the ball. A couple of their leaders that really stand out, Luke Carrizzola, and 6'3", 255, and Junior Joseph, a redshirt senior inside linebacker. Those 2 guys are their big leaders, great football players. They got a big nose tackle that draws a lot of double teams, plays hard, and in the secondary they're rotating around. They've combination of Trey Bell and Taj Herring Wilson was kind of their combination at one of the corners. So again, I know they're doing a lot of different things. It's a new defensive scheme for these guys, but you see at times that they're these guys are going to come in here and they're going to play extremely hard. They're trying to find their identity, and I had a chance to shut down late in the game East Carolina, and so these guys are going to come in with a lot of confidence as far as just trying to get better at something and getting better each week. And we'll have our hands full. Offensively, we're going to have to play well. The one thing I can say about them defensively and with Coach Crocker is they go against this offense every day. So this isn't going to be some earth-shattering new offense that they've seen. They see it every day. There's so many similarities, and so I know they'll be ready. It is a coach-to-cure MD game, so you'll see college football coaches all over the country, and ours is no different. We'll honor a family that'll be here Saturday that has been affected with this disease, and it is something that all of us in college football have recognized that we can take a stand on. So with that, I'll open up for questions, but we're excited about the challenge that these young men have. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's about the SMU Mustangs. It's about getting better. It's about playing a one-game season. That's all this is a one-game season. It's a UConn season, and no one cares what's next, or 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, or what just happened. It's all about right here, right now, and being the best we can be, and it's more about how we play than who we play, and that's my focus as a head football coach. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
You talked about how pleased you are with the taking care of the football so far this season. What do you think has been the key to limiting turnovers?
Well, I just think obviously we coach it every day, as everybody does in the country. Everybody coaches that, but I think that just a great pride in our guys. You got a lot of experienced players that understand the importance of it, whereas a young player may not quite think it's quite as important. But defensive coaches teach you to tackle, and once you get stood up, you're tackling the football, and so. There's so much about the strength. That says a lot about our strength and conditioning program. Just the awareness and to know that we got to be smart with the football. I think we have 3 interceptions on the year, but we've done a really good job, and that's a credit to our coaching staff as well.
Ben has talked about being willing to take some risks with passes if he thinks maybe there's a chance that it could go the other way, but if he thinks he can give his receiver a chance to get the ball. Is that something that you've coached him on, or is that more his philosophy?
Well, I think with Ben right now, Ben is a guy that's got plenty of playmakers around him. And my message to him and our offensive staff, and it'll be the same message to Coach Craddock. I mean, Ben's a fierce competitor. There's no doubt about that. And you have to be at that position. But you also have to understand that you don't have to win the game. Just get the ball to your playmakers and execute and move the chains. And if you'll do that, we've got plenty of playmakers around that'll make him look really good, or make whoever is at quarterback look good. So, yeah, we've got some great receivers that you want to get the ball up, and I want to see him do a better job when we get in the end zone or get close to the end zone to give Cortland Sutton a better chance and don't throw the ball out of bounds. And we've done that the last few weeks. And so that's something he's got to get better at moving forward.
You said after the game that you couldn't really give an evaluation of the Will Hutton Jacob Tedora pair until you got a chance to look at the film. And now you have, and on your depth chart, you've got Bryce Wilds back in this week at tackle and Tedora back at guard. Yeah. Why the switch?
No, we're not. We're actually switching that back. Will be our starting right guard. And after going through the film and going through things, it looks, that really kind of helps us out. We solidified our right guard position. Will played well. I mean, 6'7", so it's at times you play high when you're 6'7". That happens. But Will did a really good job. You'll continue to see a rotation right now with Jacob Tedora and Bryce Wilds at right tackle. It doesn't mean we won't spell Will a little bit at right guard with moving Jacob back in. But right now, no, Will is our starter.
How much of an adjustment for Jacob is that if you move him back and forth, especially still being a young guy, going tackle to guard within the same game against the same defense? How much of an adjustment is that from drive to drive for him?
Yeah, Coach Fry does a great job of cross-training these guys, and you have to in the offensive line to create your depth. And so, Jacob's a really good athlete, but we feel like that Will, because of him being the fifth-year senior that he is, that he's going to provide us some stability right there. That it won't be a major changeover to where Bryce or Jacob would come in and play an extended period. It may be for a series or so. But because that's where Jacob kind of started out at, it's really not a problem right there. And we rotate those guys around in fall camp just to try to create the cross-training of them. But we hope to we hope to get that right tackle position kind of more locked in, hopefully over the next week or so.
One of the goals in your team meeting room is win the West and win the conference, and this is the first step this week. What is the message to the team about starting conference play?
Well, it's interesting you said that, because I had that question last night on my radio show. It's really about a one-game season. We've got 8 one-game seasons, and it's a UConn season, and we'll worry about all that other stuff later. It's about can we be 1-0 in the UConn season, and to do that, we've got to be 1-0 today. We've got to have great preparation this week. This is a football team that's getting better. They showed to the improvements that they made last week, but again, it's more about how we play than who we play, and that's I'm on high alert. I've said it at the start of this season, and I'll say it again. The challenge that this football team will face this year will be how you can handle success. And so, believe me, we as a staff, we talked about in our staff meeting this morning, we're on high alert for any complacency. We're not good enough for that. We got a long way to go. This is a long football season. It's a one-game season right now, and that's the only focus that we have instead of looking down the road. All that other stuff will take care of itself if you'll just win your one-game season at a time.
You talk all the time about the preparation that leads up to every game and the competition that you have in practice. So when you have a position like you do at running back, where you have 3 talented guys, how much of your rotation on Saturday afternoon is a result of the competition during the week, and how much is the defense you're facing and what they're doing across the line of scrimmage?
Well, it's more so about, and you look back, and Coach Traylor's done a great job with this. And you look back a year ago, when you look at the hits that Braden West took. I mean, there was times that you just had 2 running backs all year long, and we were moving Myron over to be a backup running back, and he actually got reps in a game at running back, and because we were having to work Kamen at quarterback. And so, when you have 3 quality, really talented running backs that we do, they feed off each other. They appreciate each other. Now, make no mistake, they're competitive, and they all want the ball, and that's what you love about each and every one of them. But all 3 bring a different dynamic to the game, and you love. And you just don't know which one is going to be the hot hand that night. And so as you look at it, and I was looking at the rep count and the carries from each of the first 4 games, and Braden missed a game, so his is a little bit skewed, but right there they're all neck and neck, and that'll only pay off as the season progresses. And so I'm excited. I know the way that they practice. Coach does a great job of rotating them in to keep them fresh. Again, it's all about taking care of these guys and getting them to the game. We know all 3 of them can play. It's they got to get their work in, but yet they got to be fresh and ready to go for Saturday.
You talked after the previous couple of games about the need to improve the running game, and then this past week you ran for 300 and something, 314. How much of that was a result of the defense and the fact that Arkansas State lost a couple defensive linemen to injury, and how much was significant improvement in your run blocking?
Well, I think it was a combination of a lot of that. When you look at our offensive line and watching the improvements that they made this week, again, we played really well, and really played well at right guard, in center, left guard, left tackle, and we showed some really promising highlights at right tackle. And so just to get that combination of those guys is big. To have the confidence that those guys walked off the field and knowing that we put a run game performance in like we did really just continues to build on that. And again, I think a lot of that was part of our plan going in. I know Coach Craddock and our offensive staff had a great plan. And when you're able to open up your passing game, again, and I've said this over and over, but when you decide to play cover 2 to Cortland and you put 2 over the top of him, somebody's going to be open. And it's just a matter of time. But you do know this, that if you can run the football, you can impose your will on a lot of teams. And there's nothing more demoralizing to anybody is when you're able to line up and run the football down the field. And we had some great opportunities this past week. I thought Kamen Freeman ran exceptionally hard. Then you bring in Braden West, and he's a different style of back. He's a slash type of guy that's very elusive and hard to tackle. And then you bring in Xavier, which it was so good to see him kind of get back into the groove and have a breakout night. He needed that for his confidence sake. So, but again, we're going to continue to build on that. This is a defense that's going to take away the inside run. They're not going to let you run the ball very much inside the tackles, just because of their alignment. And so we've got to do a really good job of putting together a plan and attacking the weaknesses and doing what we do and doing it the best we can do it. We always talk about do simple better. Let's get really good at what we do. So.
You talked about the Malzahn connections between your staff and UConn. Does that help you prepare your defense for what you might see from UConn? And at the same time, do you feel like you need to add some wrinkles to your offense to, maybe mix up what they might be expecting from you?
Well, not really. I mean, again, it goes back to, and I've shared with our staff. I mean, obviously, through the course of a game planning week, you always look at different things that you can tweak or you can adjust that still fit within who we are. And so that's every week. It doesn't matter who we play. And then from our defensive standpoint is the same thing that I shared with our offensive staff, is that, hey, look, you guys go against this offense every day. You see us every day. You understand the ins and outs of what we do, but at the end of the day, it's still about alignment, assignment, and technique. You still have to tackle in space. You still have to cover well. You got to make plays on the ball. You have to get yourself and understand what you're doing. And so really challenging our defensive staff to be simple. Be simple, but be good. Be good at something. Make sure that we have an identity of who we are. And that's something we've done over the last several weeks, and we're going to keep building on it. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have a different little wrinkle here and there, but we when you get to week 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, I mean, everybody pretty much knows who you are, and we know who they are. And it's about lining up and playing ball and executing at your best, and just doing simple better.
What have you learned about your team through non-conference play?
Well, I love our energy. I love our energy. I love our effort. These guys are playing exceptionally hard. We've created some depth in our D-line, depth in our O-line. Now that we're getting that right side solidified, I'm excited about that. I think our wide receiver core is extremely explosive. This is a very football team that could really care less who gets the credit right now. That's what's unique about these guys as you watch them. Very selfless. I mean, they know where we were 33 months ago and where we are right now, and it's just part of the journey and it's part of the process. And they love each other. They care for each other. They enjoy being around each other. And it's neat when you're able to walk in there. And I know as our staff, I mean, the best part of our day is when we get to be around our guys. And we're with each other, and to watch the journey that these young men have been on is remarkable. I remember coming in here, and this was and I've shared this. This was an 0-11 football team that went to UConn and up there on the road, and won and finished 1-11, and. This is what's crazy about the game of college football, and I mean it can happen to anybody on any Saturday. And so you have to take care of your own business, and you have to focus in on what you do, and the care and the love and the passion you have for each other, and the work, the journey. It's far more than just about lining up out here at 3 o'clock on Saturday. It's about the preparation that we put in, and is it meaningful? Does it mean something to you? What's your investment like? Because you only get so many opportunities. 90% of our time up here is only spent for 10% out there on that football field. And why would you ever waste a moment in a program like we have now? The season starts right now. It's continuing to improve. Our one play at a time mentality, and it's a one-game season. It's UConn season. That's it.
You've talked about when defenses focus so much on Cortland, like TCU did and Arkansas State did, that somebody else is going to be open now that you've got more depth at the other skill positions. But just like your running backs, you all want the ball. Do you and Coach Craddock and Coach Stepp have to manage Cortland's competitive nature? Because certainly he wants the ball more too, right?
Well, they all want the ball, and that's what you love about them all. And I would be concerned if he didn't want the ball. But he's the first guy that's celebrating with James. He's the first guy celebrating with Trey and Xavier. He just wants to win, and that's what separates him from all the great ones right there. He just wants to win, and while they all want the ball, and he does too. He wants to win. I mean, he made a comment to Coach Craddock as he walked out of the locker room the other day, and he said, "Hey, Coach Craddock, just make sure check out my downfield blocking, and hey, I should be able to get a downfield blocker of the week award we give out." And sure enough, I mean, he's busting his tail blocking down the field, and I wish we could have hit him right there on that last drive that was coming out of the back end zone and give him a chance inside the red zone. That's where Ben's got to get better at. But man, this guy he is a team player all the way, and man, he's a pleasure to coach and a pleasure to be around.
Is there any update on Christian Davis, his timeline?
Yeah, we hope Christian will be back this week. So we fully expect him to be back this week. So we'll see.
Today at practice, do you think he'll be able to do more than he did last week or the week before?
Yeah, no, he's going to be out there today and doing some running around, doing some cutting. So we hope to see him back full stride by the end of the week.
Jordan White also got dinged the other day. How's he feeling?
Yeah, we'll look at Jordan again today. He'll be out there today. He'll go through some rehab, and we'll kind of see what it'll be come game time with him.
Other injury updates you can give?
No, I think that's pretty much. Eric Sutton will be back. He'll be back in. I think that's for the most part. That's it.
What happened with Eric?
Just his ankle. Yeah, he rolled his ankle, but he'll be back.
Coach?
Yeah, y'all struggled a little bit in the kicking game this past week. Is there any chance y'all try and make a change over to Kevin, or is Josh still?
Well, no, Josh is still our guy. Kevin is got a great talent, and he'll continue to work. But Josh has been doing a really good job on his kickoffs. We've got to be more consistent in our field goals and our extra points. I mean, those are free points right there that we got to be able to hit. And so we'll continue to work that. But Josh is our guy.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.